Hey guys, Kevin Shaw here, editor-in-chief of the Watercraft Journal. Want to welcome you to another Sunday night session, and this one's going to be kind of fun. Just a little bit more conversational. So if you got super chats for technical questions, make sure to get those in because I'm going to be asking a lot of questions and we're going to be having a conversation with the chat session. And we're starting off strong with Billy. Billy's already here. Hey, everyone's got to say hi to Billy. Billy. All right, good. I'm excited. We're starting strong. This is great. Okay. So a little bit of news so that we get people catching up and coming in already. And then we'll get into what today is going to be. Okay, so first, because of everything going on, that I just had a really busy week, and I'm going to get into a little bit of some of the other things that we did this week. The 3 mods for the RXPX, that video, I got the rough draft, and we're just making 2 tweaks to it that are really minor. And those are going to be done in my hand tomorrow. So what that means is that the 3 mods for the 2021 and up RXPX, that article and video will be live on Tuesday. So this Tuesday, you're going to see that video. And I know that one's been kind of taken, that one took a little bit of time because it ended up being close to 17 minutes. So we just tried to be as detailed as humanly possible. I really wanted to make this just as super detailed as possible. I know everyone's like, I want it in 3 minutes. I'm like, I don't do that. You're not going to get a tweet style tutorial out of me. I'm going to go over it into detail. So, that's how it works. All right, we got a super chat. Greg, hope your ride went well. Next year, if my ski comes, I'll definitely come to one. Well, I don't know if you'll be able to do it, but I'll get into more detail soon. But Greg, thank you for the super chat. Next, the UV shirts, the Watercraft Journal UV shirts have been delivered to our distributor. We're going to do a drop ship with them. Our distributor is our partner, who is Windrider. And if you see the teaser video that just came out for the Fly Off the Handle ride that Brad Bertrand just published, literally 5 minutes ago, you'll see me in kind of a white grayish camo shirt. That's pretty close to what ours looks like, but I will have pictures and a full announcement hopefully Friday. So I know that one's been pushed back again. That is just kind of, end of the season kind of stuff. And then of course we're getting into, holiday season. So everything's getting kind of backed up really quickly. All right. And then the script that I am currently working on is for the Riva Superjet. That one, guy has just been pushed back. And Dave Bamdis at Riva's like, dude, where the hell is this? So, I need to get on that one. So I'm dragging my feet on that one. Not intentionally. It's just, it's kind of low man on the totem pole and just gets pushed back. So the Riva Racing Edition Superjet will hopefully be produced pretty quickly. It will be a short one. It'll probably be about 4 or 5 minutes long. It's not going to be a big 20-minute one. All right. So let's talk about what happened this weekend. All right. So about a month ago, I had the idea of kind of doing an anti-cruise. I don't know how to better say this. I wanted something that kind of that flew in the face of a lot of these group rides that were very leisurely, that were kind of stop and smell the roses, and a bunch of stops and a bunch of like, let's stop and hang out and have a beer and smoke a cigarette and wait for an hour and then jump on the ski and go 20 minutes and have another stop. And these all day, I've been on a lot of these rides, and they're beautiful and they're all day and they're really neat. And you get to see a lot of really gorgeous country that you haven't seen before. But none of those were doing what I kind of secretly wanted. And what I secretly wanted, kind of what was itching deep in my soul, in my heart, was an adventure. And something that would really push me, push the ski I was on, really pushed everyone. And I guess I need to start by telling a story. So hang on tight for this one. All right. So in late spring, early summer of 2008, I'm working at Personal Watercraft Illustrated. And I get a phone call from Kawasaki. And Cowie knows I'm racing and hot rodding these, their Ultra 250 and doing this kind of stuff. And what happens that they call me and they say, hey, listen, do you have a passport? I go, yeah, why? What's up? And they're like, well, we had a couple people fall through, and we thought, hey, why don't we invite the kid from PWI to come out, and we're going to ride from Miami to Bimini. I said, oh my gosh, sign me up. Like, I'll be there. Do I need to pay for my own flight? What do I need to do? And they're like, no, we'll cover everything. And they said, we want you to do a story. Obviously, it's going to be in the magazine. We have a photographer, guy named Chris Lauber. For you old school dudes, you might remember Chris Lauber. Chris Lauber has been around photographing jet skis since like the late 70s, all through the 80s. He and his brother started the US JSBA, which became the IGSBA. Chris is now out of it. And he got into like a lot of like marathon cycling, marathon runners and bicycling and photographing that. But he got out of the jet ski scene, more or less. Anyway, and Chris was pretty much out by the time I was doing it. But they had Chris. Chris was going to be the photographer. And they had a bunch of, quite frankly, they had a bunch of older guys. And I mean older, late 50s into their 60s. Guys from major publications. Men's Health or Men's Journal, boating, or a different like high-end boating magazine. It was something that was not meant for knuckleheads like me. And I was 28 years old and was just like, hell yeah, dude, let's go. And they put us up in a very expensive hotel. With this beautiful marina, and they had a fishing boat chartered. And this was money that they were not intending to spend on Kevin Shaw and PWI. And they just had people back out. Well, I spent that first evening in the hotel in this beautiful restaurant talking to one of the guys who was going to be riding. And he was a former photographer for Playboy in the 1960s. And I'm like, that's insanity. And he goes, oh, yeah. And then he proceeds to tell me that he used to either date or was married to Jill St. John. And I don't know if you guys are old James Bond fans, but Jill St. John was that knockout redhead from Diamonds Are Forever. Yeah, he was married to her. So, like, this cat's telling me all these stories. I'm like, dude, this is amazing. Anyway, so the next morning, and this is my first real ride with Cowie. I mean, this is honestly my first real event with Cowie. So we go out, And we're all on Ultra LXs, naturally aspirated blue and white Ultra LXs. I said, okay. And John Rawl he's the head of the media relations, and he's the guy leading the pack. Okay, great. So we all head out, and there's probably, well, hell, there's five. No, was there four? There is. There's 4 Ultras. I don't know why I said 5. There's 4 Ultras. Me, 2 of these older guys from other magazines, and John Rawl. There's a guy named John Baines on the boat. He's technical support. And then there's the captain of the charter that we've got. And it's full of gas cans and things like that. We couldn't have prayed for a better ride out to Bimini. It was glass. It was glass. Absolute rolling, smooth glass. You could go completely pinned wide open. You would never unhook in a million years. It just was this gentle, rolling field of, 51 miles, 52 miles, all the way out to Bimini. It was pristine. All right. We pull in. I mean, we leave at a government cut, and it's just glass. And we get there. They stop to jump in, and, everyone had to relieve themselves or, have a Gatorade or some water. But I'm like, dude, I could stay pinned like this. I mean, get a rubber band and tie it around the throttle. I could ride like this for a day. I mean, it's glass. So we get to the island, and we check in with the authorities, and we get all stamped and checked out. Again, this is 2008. There's no big deal. So we get on the skis and we fart around the islands, and we go looking at some real pretty stuff and find some coves. But the next day we were going to have two nights there, 3 days. And the next day we were going to do all the shipwreck and the drug smuggler airplane and all the neat, jump into the hole through the cave and into the grotto and all that kind of fun stuff. All the really neat touristy stuff that you see at Bimini. And that was the plan. Plan was to see all the touristy stuff the next day. So I'm like, hey, let's go ride around. Let's go check out, let's go periphery of the island. And a couple of the old boys were like, you know what, man, I'm kind of wiped out. I want to get off this damn thing and have a drink and sit by the pool. So I get outvoted, which is fine. I'm kind of the guest, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm the third wheel. So we pull up to this beautiful marina with these giant yachts. I mean, I've never seen money like this in my life. I'm just like, I've never seen anything like this. And we shore up there, and we tie up at the dock. And they say, hey, grab your bag out of the boat, and we'll go check you in. I said, all right. And everyone had these little bungalow homes. And so we all check in, and I'm like, dude, this is a house. I'm like, this is bigger than the apartment I was living in at the time. So it was crazy. And everyone meets at the bar, and they all start hanging out. And all of a sudden my phone starts going nuts. And I pick up, and John Rawl at Cowie's like, hey, get your butt to the pool right now. We need to have a conversation. And I'm like, oh, am I in trouble? He goes, no, everyone, it's an emergency meeting. All right. So I had just jumped out of the shower, so I threw some clothes on, got my flip-flops on, and hustled over to the pool. And Rawl's like, hey, we got a problem. We got a major storm rolling in, and it's rolling in fast, and they think it might turn into a hurricane by the time it hits Florida. And I was like, well, didn't we see this coming? And he goes, well, we were kind of playing it by ear. We thought it was going to go the other way. All right. So what? We got to leave tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon. And they're like, we almost have to leave tonight. And the old guys protested. They're like, absolutely not. I'm not getting on that jet ski again. They kicked my ass. I'm like, kick your ass? Dude, it was flat. I'm like, you might as well go 50 miles an hour up the Cumberland River right here in Tennessee in my backyard. I'm like, it's glass, you guys. But anyhow, I'm telling a long version of a short story, so I apologize. So basically, the consensus is, let's just have fun tonight, and we're leaving first thing tomorrow morning. So my Bimini trip was get there and go home. I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, that's all you're going to see of Bimini. So we got on some golf carts. I'm like, will you drive me around this damn island? I want to see this place. So we went and got some tacos, and everyone grabbed beer, and we drove around, and I got to hang out with some pretty cool people. And I figured, well, if we're leaving bright and early tomorrow morning, I'm going to bed. So I went to bed at probably 9 o'clock, and woke up at 5 o'clock the next morning. And we geared up, we gassed up, and at 6 a.m. we were out of the marina. And by that time, the wind was up, and sun was just starting to break, and you could see the black storm clouds coming in. I mean, you could see it. And I'm like, okay, that's legit. I'm like, oh, crap. This is legit. And I realized what's really funny is that Bimini and the route from Miami to Bimini is literally part of the Bermuda Triangle. And everyone's kind of heard of the Bermuda Triangle, that eats planes and boats and all that kind of fun stuff. It's one of those, mystery spots. So I'm sitting there going, I'm going to be jet skiing through the Bermuda Triangle right now. I'm like, all right, kind of interesting. And we get about 5 miles, maybe 10. I want to say 10. And we get about 10 miles in, and it turns into garbage. The wind's really kicking up. The water's getting rough. And one of the older guys, one of the other media guys who were invited to go, he taps out. He goes, get me on this boat. I don't care. Tie the jet ski up to the back of the boat. I don't care. I'm not riding this jet ski back. Great. So they tie a big 50-foot tether to the front of the jet ski. This old guy hops on the boat. No. Excuse me. No, John Rawls still riding. I'm riding. The guy from Playboy has gone on the boat. There's another dude. He looked like an owl. He was bald with glasses. He gets another 5-10 miles in, and he taps out. Well, they realize that the boat dragging the jet skis are going too fast, and the jet skis are taking on water. So John Baines, he gets off the boat, gets onto one of the jet skis, and he's driving it. So there's 3 of us. There's John Rawl, John Baines, and me, and we're riding 3 skis, and there's one of them being dragged behind the boat. And Baines goes, listen, we're going to lose that cowie. He goes, I'm going to tow the cowie. All right. So he tethers the cowie up to the other Yamaha. Wow. To the other Ultra. And then I want to say John Rawl backed out. Because at a point, it was me and John Baines both towing Ultras. No. We did that for a little bit, and it was slowing down the skis, and we're burning too much fuel. So we ended up tethering the other ski to the boat, and it was John Rawl, me, and John Baines all riding in 6 to 10 foot hurricane swells with this charter boat, this fishing boat, with 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, if I remember right. And I realized, I'm like, I've got 30 miles left of this. I got 30 miles of this. And I'm not going to die. I'm deciding I'm not going to die. This is my decision at 28 years old. I'm not going to die. I'm looking at John Baines. He's like, dude, here we go. Throttle up. Game on. We're going. I look at John Rollin. He's like, I'm off, bro. I'm gone. And I just said, decision's made. I made my decision. John's made his, and the other John's made his. And the three of us rode through absolute squall weather all the way back to Miami. And it was sheets of rain, black skies, black water, white caps washing over you, blowing. It blew everything. Sunglasses were gone, goggles were gone. I'm just doing this, trying to see. And we're going all the way back, and we're just in the wake of the fishing boat because the fishing boat's got all the GPS mapping there like that. So we're just chasing that boat. And I'll tell you what, that happened, 14 years ago, 13 years ago? And I can describe nearly every minute of that ride. So why the hell am I telling the story? I'm telling this story because it left a lasting memory. And I survived. And, saltwater, my eyes are super sensitive, and so I can't take saltwater. So I come prepared with 2 pairs of sunglasses and a pair of goggles. But I tell this story because these are the events that you take with you to the grave. And I'm going to get a little dark, but none of us are getting out of this alive. None of us are getting out of this. Well, dude, we're all going to die. And the idea in my mind is to have as many memories and adventures and experiences and knowledge as possible. It's, if you believe in an afterlife, if you do, I'm not preaching the gospel here, but if you believe in an afterlife, you take your knowledge and experiences and your relationships with you. And that is what I'm talking about, is you want that collection. Sure, it's cool to have toys and all this kind of fun stuff. But I'm telling you, you want to have these stories. You want to have these memories. You want to live. Henry David Thoreau said, I'm paraphrasing Henry David Thoreau, but he says, I fear that at the end of my life, I will look back and realize that I had not yet lived. Kind of poignant. So why are we talking about this? We all have jet skis. We all love to jet ski. This is why we're here. This is why you're tuning in to listen to some ginger and a flannel rant about Bimini Island. All right? I get it. But the idea is, don't get me wrong. Not everyone can push themselves as hard as someone else, or as much as I want to. And I can't blame you for that. Physically, just physical ability, time-wise, money constraints, whatever it might be. You just might not be able to do it, or you just might not want to. And that's cool too. All right? And you'll just use your watercraft for leisure, and it's a fun, dumb toy that you and the kids and the wife play with occasionally a couple times a year. Cool. I'm not dogging you. I'm not saying it's inferior, because you know what? Sometimes all I want to do is fart around on the lake for an hour, and then I've had my fill, and I come back in, and that's it. Okay? But what today's topic is about, and what today's conversation is going to lead into, is the Watercraft Journal is going to start hosting unofficially, because no one is going to sue me for this, because all it is a fun run. All right. I want to start hosting or inviting people onto rides that are going to kick your ass. I want rides that potentially could break your ski. I want rides that people may not want to ever go on another one with me ever again, because they're like, I did not like what I just got put through. All right. I am trying to preface this as clearly as humanly possible. I want to start hosting rides that will beat the piss out of you. All right. That's the idea. And I think there's enough of you guys out there who are batshit crazy like I am and want to do that. Now, here's the rub. I got some caveats, and you're not going to like it. And I'm going to weed this crowd out. All right. I am going to sift the wheat from the tares. That is the whole idea. All right. I'm going to sift the wheat from the tares. All right. The Panhandle ride that we did on Friday was originally designed for 100. The math was 257 miles was the initial lap. The lap was from Satsuma, Alabama, through through Mobile Bay, past Pensacola to Destin, and from Destin all the way back. All right. I was joking about, I don't want to stop for food. I want people to bring Cliff Bars and Powerade and Gatorade, and you get to bring your food, and you have to eat on the run. And that got voted down. But I was like, listen, we don't have a lot of daylight, and I want to get as many miles under us as possible, and I want a variety of water. Now, Brad Bertrand was crazy enough to go, let's do it. But we had a lot of people sign up and then complain their way out. I was going to use another word. All right. The idea was our average moving speed was going to be 55 miles an hour. That's what we wanted. We wanted supercharged skis, fast skis that can go 65, 70 miles an hour. Because we're going to go 70 when we can. When it's flat enough, we're pinning it. And everyone's like, whoa, well, dude, I can't do that. I got a naturally aspirated FX, or I'm on a GTI 170, or I'm on a GTR 230, and that thing only goes 62. Or I just can't really keep up. And there was a lot of people who were like, dude, that's pretty rough. You know, I can't hang with that. So I talked with Brad, and Brad's like, well, if we drop our average moving speed, we won't be able to make the whole lap. I said, well, what do you recommend? And he goes, I recommend everyone brings extra fuel. Minimum was 10 gallons. He says, bring 10 gallons of gas. Oh, we had a super chat that I skipped, and I need to answer this. Kevin writes, wife and I traveled over 2,000 nautical miles up and down East Coast waterways and ocean this summer, asking for help. The problem is finding marinas that would let us use dock overnight, even if we paid minimum footage per ski. Why? Florida, well, there are a lot of marinas that still do not take to personal watercraft, Kevin. I do not have a master list of that. That is going to take either local expertise or a whole lot of searching and phone calls. And I simply do not have that. I appreciate the super chat, but I cannot answer that question sufficiently. So I apologize. I feel kind of bad, but you're going to have to do a lot of digging on that one. I apologize. All right. So this ride that we did on Friday, let me tell you what happened. All right. There's always a plan B. Every good ride has a plan B. Well, as soon as we came out of the bayou into the bay, into Mobile Bay, we had riders drop back to 30 miles an hour. And the first half of the bay, I was averaging and Brad was averaging about 45. It was rough. I was on an RXPX 300, trimmed all the way up, even with 12 gallons on the back. And Brad was on an RXTX with 18 gallons on the back. And he was trimmed all the way up. And we were hitting it pretty hard. Now, the second half, once you got to the halfway point of the bay, it leveled out. Not glass, but it leveled out. And I was able to pin it. And I'll tell you what, that Sea-Doo RXPX found its stride to the point that I walked away on Brad. And I'm like, Brad's the leader, and I don't really know where we're turning in. So I kept having to throttle back and throttle back and throttle back. So my average moving speed was about 65 miles an hour. And I was in a good riding posture. Ski was in good riding position. We were really hitting the waves in a really good rhythm. Everything was working out. We get to the mouth of the river, and I literally pull up on the beach. I stop. I'm like, well, I guess I'll pour my gas in, because the next stop was another 40 miles ahead. Brad goes back, and we find out that one guy has lost both of his gas cans. He's done. Andy's on a GTR 230 with the small tank. He's got the 15.8 gallon tank. So he's screwed. He's also running really bad fuel mileage. And he is resigned that my ski just gets bad gas mileage. And everyone who knows their way around Sea-Doo starts looking at him going, something's not right. Something's not right with your ski. So I start asking a bunch of questions, and it comes out that he's running 87 octane in his 230. Well, he says, it doesn't make a difference if I run 91 or 87. It doesn't make a difference. It's just the same. And I said, well, how long have you been running 91? He goes, oh, I ran one tank in 91, and it's been 87 ever since. It just does the same. I said, okay, well, your ECU knows that it's only getting 91 or 87 and is drenching its pistons in fuel. He's like, what are you talking about? And I said, to prevent detonation, the ECU on that Sea-Doo is dumping 87 octane all over your pistons to keep them wet so that they don't detonate. And he's like, well, what do you think I should do? I said, you should run 91 with some freaking additive in it. Do about 4 tanks of that. And on the 4th or 5th tank, you'll see that your fuel mileage has improved. And he's like, oh, you think so? I go, I know so. I know so. It's how these engines operate. It's just operating software. It's fuel curves. It's air-fuel ratio. All right? The guy was running pig rich the entire time. Anyway, so this one guy is in a bad way. And thankfully, one of the guys on a naturally aspirated VX offers him some extra gas. We get him to a gas station that was within 20 miles. We mistakenly stop and fill up everyone there. That eats up about 45 minutes. We lost our route in that gas stop. We lost our route on that first journey across the bay, and we lost our route on that first gas stop. Brad pulls me aside and he goes, "We ain't going to make it." I said, "Okay." He goes, "We just don't have enough daylight. I do not like coming in at dusk in case something goes wrong," which two more things went wrong on our ride, which you prepare for. So the initial ride of 255 roughly miles, 260 miles was out the window. He comes back to me and he says, "We can do 180 miles and I can get us offshore into some rough stuff." And I said, "Okay." And he says, "It's a lot less miles, but it'll be rougher." I said, "Great, let's do it." So sure enough, we get to Pensacola, we cut out of Perdido Point, and we come back all the way to Ocean Beach on the other side. That was not part of the initial plan. Well, we caught some good rough chop, and that knocked everyone out. That was great. It wiped everyone out. And stopped, got lunch, rode back. Then we did, to add some miles and try to get to 180. We ended up doing like 179 and a half. We ended up doing a lot of bayous just to rack up some stuff and get some smooth water in, get some fresh water running through everyone's pumps, and to just get some more miles in. So we ended up, and the bay on the way back was more rough, and then the last third of it had smoothed out. So we got a lot of rough water in. We did 180 miles, and we rode from 6:45 in the morning to about 3:15. I think it was 3 o'clock when we came in. So not a full day, but a long day. 180 miles. That is how these rides are going to go. It's how these rides are going to go. These rides are going to go. And I'm going to tell you right now, most of them, for the time being, at least the next 4 or 5 months, are going to be in the southeastern states. I'm not going to the Great Lakes. I'm not going to any Democrat-ran states. I'm sorry. But it's going to be in the southeast. I'm going to tell you right now. I am talking to people who are up in the Great Lakes area. We are talking about some plans, but we are looking for cold weather, but not ice. I have no problem riding on the Ohio River when the banks are covered in snow. The problem is launch ramps, and a lot of people can't do it. Right now, I'm talking with the right guys, and I'm hoping that December's ride will be in Mississippi. January's ride, I'm pretty much prepared for January's ride to be here in Nashville. And it's going to be 440 miles in one day. You heard me. 440 miles of flat water, except for the Tennessee River on the big end, which is the halfway point. In the middle of the ride, it's going to get rough. But the rest of it is going to be the Cumberland River. And we're all going to lock through a dam one way and on the way back. 440 miles. I did it myself, by myself. You can go to the YouTube channel and you can watch the video. But we're going to do it when it's 40-something degrees out. That's how it's going to work. All right? And if we don't have enough time, in the day because of just winter and daylight savings, I'll cut the ride short. And the halfway point won't be in Paris Landing, but it might be further up, might be land between the lakes, and then we turn around from there. And it'll be 300 miles. But we're doing long rides, and they're going to be pinned. And you're going to be going, your average moving speed is going to be 55 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. You're going to be pinned, and you're going to have to fill up your tank, either with jerry cans or using a fuel system. And I don't care if you use my fuel system or somebody else's fuel system, but you're going to want to bring fuel. It's going to push you. It's going to push the ski. And if you don't want to do it, if it's too cold, or your hands get cold, or your feet get cold, or your ears get cold, and you don't want to wear gloves, and you want to wear shorts and t-shirts, or you're from Central Florida, and when it turns 60 degrees, you have to wear long pants and a hoodie, then don't come. Because honestly, the people who want to push themselves and do crazy batshit rides like this, they'll come. The guys who want to complain about it on Facebook, they go to Facebook and they complain. Like I said, this isn't for everyone. I'm weeding people out. I'm going to weed people out. So that's the idea. That's really the idea here. Okay? This isn't taking away from any other group. You can belong to any number of riding groups. All right? I put a video up on my personal Facebook page that pissed all sorts of people off. All right? It also went up on the Watercraft Journal page, to be fair. And, I kind of laugh that, like, representatives of the OEs like that video, and people are in there complaining about it. But I got guys in there going, dude, I ride all the time. I ride all the time. I rack up 300 hours a year. I go, that's great. It's really easy when it's always 75 degrees outside. I want to see if you'll do it when it's ugly. I want to see how you do when it's rough. I want to see if you'll stay wide open throttle when it's 3 foot outside. That's the question. So that's the whole idea behind these rides. We had 9 people on Friday. And I knew we were going to have single digits because 2 people backed out on my drive down. And they got me so mad. That's why I did the video. So let's see here. I do not have the details on Mississippi. I'm talking to these guys. I'm talking to the right guys about it. We're trying to map out a route that will be diverse, that will be challenging, that will require you to bring fuel, and require you to be fast. Or at least stay pinned. You could be on an FXHO and beat all of us. You know that? You just got to stay pinned. We had a guy on a VXR kick all of our butts on Friday's ride because he knew how to ride. He knew how to ride, and he only knew one speed. And that cat rode hard. So, freaking props go out to Tony. All right? Talked about Nashville. I'm also talking with Greg Gaddis at Green Hulk Garage. We're mapping out a Louisiana ride, too. Louisiana might be in February. Not sure yet. We're waiting on a few. Fuel docks to open up, but that one will be good. I have put the challenge out to some. I've put the challenge out to some people for Florida because I've had a lot of guys go, dude, I do all this riding in Florida. I go, okay. Present a route. Present a route. It's got to be at minimum 160 miles in one day. And I want to see some ocean. I want to see some rough water. It could be Lake Okeechobee. I've been on Lake Okeechobee where it's turned into crap. I'm like, great, let's go through Lake Okeechobee. Let's do a route. I'll tell you what, if you guys want to do it and you want to suffer through the locks, I'll do the original long haul ride again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do that. I'm not traveling that far. And we're not doing stupid exotic locations. I'm not. It's not about scenery. I'm not interested in scenery. And I'm not asking people to spend a bazillion dollars to go some ride. That's not logistically possible. I want something that is within, basically, I'm going to tell you this. If it's within an 11-hour drive from Nashville, I'll do it. If I can get there in 11 hours, I'll go. I might make an exception for like South Florida. But I want it to be rough. But I got a lot of guys throwing a lot of these suggestions out there. You go ahead and email me routes. Email me a route. So, no, I'm not hosting a Bimini ride. Sorry, Chris. Absolute no. Absolute hard no. I would absolutely not do it. And I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. There's a guy named Tim McKercher. Tim McKercher is the media rep for Sea-Doo. Tim McKercher has his own marketing agency as well, and called Look Marketing. And for almost a decade, he hosted a Bimini fun run. And I'm telling you, the nightmare stories that man has told me. People showing up with clapped out 1994 two-strokes trying to do the Bimini ride. People showing up with zero preparation. They don't have their passports. They don't have extra fuel. They don't have tools. They don't have a fire extinguisher. They don't have sunscreen. They don't have shoes. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, I have heard the worst stories. So basically what happens, all right, you want to know what hinders these rides? It's the least of these. You ever heard that phrase? It's for the least of these. You're as strong as your weakest link. The chain is as strong as its weakest link. And I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you right now, Friday had some weak-ass links in it. But that's how it's going to be. That is how it's going to be. The first 4 or 5 rides are going to be brutal. I want them to be brutal. And you want to know why? I want to set a precedent. I want the precedent to be, dude, these aren't even fun. You're in pain for the next 2 or 3 days. They had us from sun up to sundown. I want the word of mouth to be so negative. I really do. I really do. And I know there's guys in the comment section right now watching this laughing their butts off because they go, oh my gosh, this sounds exactly what I want to do. All right. I know it is. And I know there's guys going like, well, screw Kevin. This doesn't sound fun at all. Oh, it's too cold. Oh, I don't want to do that. Rah, 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 rah. And that's great too. Because you don't need to be there. It's cool. You don't need to be there. All right. If you want to go on a fun ride and see pretty things and stop and take pictures and take selfies with your wife on the back seat, go do those rides. This isn't what I'm talking about. All right? Because I'm going to tell you what. Here's what I'm walking into next year. The best t-shirt idea on this channel. All right, what the t-shirt will say? I survived Kevin's ride. The funny thing about it is that I'm kind of the passenger. I defer to the locals All right. Brad Bertrand was our local who planned the routes out. He had plan A and plan B. He's the one who knew this place backwards and forwards. I deferred to him. I'm looking for locals in your area, all you guys who know your area backwards and forwards. I want you to email me and say, dude, I got a ride for us. I got a ride. All my friends have chickened out. I want to do it. Logistically, it's possible. It can be done in a day. You got to bring 10 gallons of gas because you're only going to be able to, the fuel stops are 80 miles in between or 70 miles in between or wherever. That's what I want from my audience. I got 112 people watching right now. I know there are people out there. Okay. Let me explain to you how I'm looking at this. I've got an RX-PX 300 that goes 76 miles an hour outside. It's not the fastest ski on the planet. All right. It's not the greatest rough water ski either. But I got that ski until spring. And then come spring, I got 2 skis coming. I've got the GTX Limited 300, the sea green one. And then I've got the Ultra 310 LX coming. I am looking to break those 2 skis. I'm not talking mechanical. I want to wear those 2 skis out. That's my goal for next year. And I'm going to do it with these rides. These rides, I'll show up, and if you say, okay, hey, listen, it's going to be all ocean going, guess what? Gold Cowie's hitting the water. Or if you say, hey, listen, it's primarily smooth water, but we're doing a lot of miles, okay, I'll take the Ultra, or I'll take the Limited out. Or whatever. Or I might switch it up. I don't care. I'll ride them all. I'll beat the hell out of them. Why don't you organize a ride in Toronto, Canada? Because I don't want to go to Canada. I don't want to get a vaccine to go to Canada. Sorry. Canada's lovely. It's beautiful. Politics suck. I don't want to go. I know that limits my range. I would love to do a ride in Australia. Guess what? I'm not flying to Australia. I'd love to do New Zealand. Come on, everyone. We're going to Japan. Logistically, I'm not. It doesn't make sense. I can't do that. How about a ride in the Midwest? Adam, find me a route. Get me a route. And I'll beat the drum, dude. And we'll get everyone going. And we will weed out the men from the boys. Let's do it. I don't know Land of the I don't know Lake of the Ozarks. I don't know the Missouri River. I don't know these routes. I'm looking for locals who know their shit, who absolutely know their area like the back of their hand to present me routes. Show me a route. Email me a route and say, Kevin, I've done this or I've done sections of it. We should do this. That's the idea. That's the idea. That's the whole idea. Okay. Bimini Storm, talked about that. Recap, done that. Talked for an hour. I feel like I've been a total jerk this entire time. I really do. I feel like I've been a total loudmouth jerk this whole time. But, Captain, I'm sorry. By the way, it killed my mother-in-law in September. 100%. Stayed indoors for a year and a half. Got the poke. Killed her. Sorry, Captain. My heart goes out to you. Sorry to hear it. Makes me ill. So, that's the idea, guys. Every month, I'm going to do one of these things. I'm not going to pull any punches. All right? And I'll promote every club ride. Guys, if you're in a club and your guys had a ride and you want it in the Watercraft Journal, email me. I'll publish the article. I'll pay you for the article. I do that. I pay my contributors. Other magazines don't. Oh, you want your club ride in a magazine? Well, get us an article and we'll print it. Okay, I'll do the same. I'll pay you for it. These rides that I'm talking about, this goofy ass crazy idea that I got, Colorado River, Lake Mead, Lake Havasu. Talked about Powell. Thought about Parker. I just don't want to drag anything out that far. That's another logistical thing. I might go as west as Texas for at least for the first few months. Because again, I'm not making a dime off of this. I'm not charging anyone anything. I'm not charging anyone anything. I'm just like, you want to do this? Meet me here at 6 a.m. and we're going to go do something really stupid. That way, no one can sue me. I'm just going riding. There's no sign up. There's no entry fee. There's nothing. I'm not making a dime off of it. There's no insurance. So I'm really serious. I'm hoping in the next week to have the route for December locked in. And then I'll double check. We might have to do the shorter route for January, because I don't think we have enough hours in the day. Because when I did it, it was in August, and I had a long day. But then again, I started moving at 6:30, and I got in at 4:30. I didn't stop for food. I stopped for gas. Two times or three times? Two times. Yeah. With my fuel system on a Cowie. So that's the idea, guys. Triple digit numbers. It's always going to be. I had a guy message me on Facebook. He's like, dude, 64 miles in those beautiful windy bayou that you'll ever see in Florida. I'm like, well, that's a fun day. That's fun. But that's not wear you out, challenging, oh my gosh, I climbed a mountain. These are mountain climbs. That's what I want. That's the idea. Speed. Greg, speed. That's my biggest concern. GTI, you'll probably top out around 55. You keep that thing pinned wide open in sport mode, and you bring a lot of gas, you'll be fine. But when it starts getting rough and you back off to 30, we will leave your lily butt behind. We won't. We'll just have to shorten the ride, and everyone's going to be like, that guy slowed us all down. We didn't get to do the ride we wanted to do because Butthead over here was going 35. See what happens? There's always a plan B. Not everyone's happy with plan B. But that's the idea. So that's the idea, guys. I spent an hour ranting about it. Hopefully the next few months will get a lot more people excited. But again, I don't want 50 people. That's a nightmare. That's a logistic nightmare. 100 people? Forget it. I'll call it off. There was 100 people. I'd call it off. I'm thinking 24 people max. Would a Fish Pro be able to do one of those? 170? Huh. Not well, I'll tell you what. We had a guy on Friday's ride, had a VXHO with the Commander Industry fish pods on the side. You guys ever seen those? Total rigged out for fishing. That kid, he was a young guy too. Neat beard. I think his name was Jeremy. Jared? No, it's Jared. Dang it. I think it was Jared. Really cool guy. But he had a really cool ski. And he kept it pinned. He was like, oh man, I'm hanging on. But he was mid-pack. He did well. Yeah, he was mid-pack. He was a soldier. Especially in the rough, dude. In the rough, that FX with those outriggers, he held on pretty good. So I think it all depends on the rider. Guys, it all depends on the rider. We had a dude out there on a VXHO. He did great. And he had the best mileage out of any of us. He really did. He did great because he stuck it out. He kept that sucker pinned and he held. Was he the head of the pack? No, he didn't have to be. You know, you're not having to be the leader. But the idea is that we keep up our average moving speed. That's the idea. Our average moving speed. Because we're only as fast as our slowest rider. Capiche? So I will be announcing on this channel in the community page on the YouTube channel. I will be announcing on the Facebook page. I will be announcing on the magazine the Mississippi Ride. I'll think of another cute name. I know we did the Fly Off the Handle ride for our Panhandle ride. I'll think of a cute name for the Mississippi Ride. The Tennessee Ride will be the return of that dam ride because we go through a dam twice. But those are the next two. Next two are going to be hopefully Mississippi, if not Louisiana, Mississippi, if we can find a route. And everyone's favorite, Billy. I'm depending on Billy to help me out with that one because Billy's my Mississippi guy. But I know we're going to get Pretty Ricky involved. We get Pretty Ricky involved, we're going to be in good shape. But I mean, it's going to be Bayou, it's going to be Gulf, it's going to be brackish water. It's going to be fun. That's the idea. So that damn Tennessee ride will be in January. Mississippi will be December with any luck. And then February will probably be Louisiana. Louisiana could get bumped back to April because that's the spring mud bug, and that might work better. So that might land us February and March with some openings. And I'll tell you what, if we could find some really cool routes in some colder, like Kentucky or in Ohio, I would love to do a polar bear. If someone can help me do an Ohio polar bear, I'm not doing Portland, Maine to Nova Scotia. I'm not. Sorry, John. I'm not. I'm not going up that way. I'm not dragging a ski up that way. I'm not going there. You can do it, and I'll print the article and I'll pay you for the article. John, if you want to do the article and do the ride, I will publish it. But I'm not going. Understand me. So that's it, guys. That's what today. You know what? I didn't even talk about the other half of the whole thing. Here's the other half of this whole thing. I mean, I kind of prefaced it a little bit. It was like, hey, listen, you want to have memories. But here's the other half of something. And this is something. Yes, Billy! Yes! Yes, Billy! This is why I love Billy. This is why I love him. This is why I consider him a friend. All right? It's not because he hangs out on our show. It's because Billy is clutch. Billy is clutch. Billy has saved my butt. Love Billy. Good. Thank you. Okay. Let me talk about this really quick, and then I'll answer some questions if there's some more super chats, and then I'm going to sign out. Why am I doing this? Why on God's green earth am I trying to do these insane, stupid rides? Does it make you a better rider? Yes. It does. Because it puts you in uncomfortable positions. Everyone knows this. Everyone since elementary school has known this. You step out of your comfort zone if you want to grow. Okay? If you just want to do figure eights on your local lake and fully fart around, then go get a jet blaster, go get a spark, go get a VX with a sound system, and listen to James Taylor sing "You Got a Friend" while you fart around the lake. Great. And you know what? I've listened to James Taylor and Cat Stevens while I've been on the lake too. So we all do it. But we do this. We push harder to become a better rider, to sharpen your skill set. There are people out there who go through 200 rounds a week practicing shooting. And that's how you get better at shooting, is every week go through 200 rounds. That's what you do. That's what you do. You want to be a better athlete? You go work out. You go practice. You want to play basketball? You shoot hoops every day. You do it. You put the time in. So there's that. I want to be a better rider. I want to be I just want to be the best seasoned all around rider I can be. Great. Do it. Push yourself. Get into unfamiliar water. Push yourself. Or I want some adventure in my life, but I don't want to put myself into mortal danger. Okay. No one's getting into mortal danger here. No one's gonna die. Okay. That's the idea. It just makes your legs sore, makes your butt hurt, makes your back a little achy. You might have to take some Motrin for a few days. That's about it. All right. Get some icy hot on your on some sore missiles. But did you die? You're fine. Exactly, Greg. No one died. You just got beat up a little bit. And that's good for you. All right. My wife met me in the backyard when I pulled the truck in with the trailer, and we were talking about it yesterday. And she was laughing. She goes, "You know what?" She goes, "You're the guy who says, 'Hey everyone, let's go camping.' And your idea of camping is not what their idea of camping is. Your idea of camping is, we're going to hike up that mountain. We're going to clear a place to sleep. We're going to build a fire. We're going to find some fish out of the creek, and we're going to survive." And that guy's thinking, "Hey, let's go to a state park. I've got a double slide Class A motorhome with Wi-Fi, and we can watch satellite television. We can watch Netflix, and I'll make sloppy joes on the stove, and we can all sleep in comfort and air conditioning." And that's not, we got two totally different kinds of ideas of camping. All right. And that's kind of my idea. That's kind of my correlation here. So my fifth wheel, my fifth wheel has 5 TVs. That's kind of my point. All right. So my takeaway for this whole proposal is stone sharpens metal. And if we want to be the men and the women that we aspire to be, we need to sharpen ourselves. We need conflict. We need resistance. We need to be pushed. We need to be pressed. The Bible talks about the refiner's fire. And the refiner's fire is interesting. I by no means claim this in my genealogy, but the tartan, the family crest, and tartan, which is the plaid pattern that's assigned to the Scottish clan of the Shaw family or the Shaw clan, has two helmets, knight's helmets, and a claymore sword. And that is to indicate that they were swordsmiths and metallurgists. They made things out of metal, historically. Ironically enough, my dad had a fabricating business. I had a welding business. And my brother is a professional fabricator. I'm a decent welder, but I like to work with mechanical stuff. But I'm also a desk jockey, so figure that one out. My grandfather worked on P-38s at McDonnell Douglas during the war. Built them. And so my family, through my patriarchal side, through my father's side, has a lot of metal workers. So maybe there's something in the blood there. But the refiner's fire and what it means to refine metal, and why you see like pictures of blacksmiths and they stick the sword in the fire and they get it cherry red and they put it on the anvil and they beat the hell out of it with a hammer, with a mallet. What are they doing? Why are they beating on the metal? They're not just trying to flatten it. What they're also doing is that they're beating the slag out of the metal. They're beating the impurities out of the metal so that you get steel. All right? Why Japanese steel was so much stronger than Chinese steel and French steel, because they fought the French and they fought the Chinese, was the refining process was so long and arduous. Okay? Scottish steel was known to break British steel and Nordic steel. Scottish steel, famously, at least through drinking songs, was pretty renowned. That is why they talk about William Wallace's Claymore. William Wallace is the hyper-fictionalized character that Mel Gibson played in Braveheart. Why am I telling you this? Was we talk about the refiner's fire and the process of refining metal and refining steel. Thank you, Stoney, for the super chat. It's kind of great. All right. To get steel, to get really strong steel, you have to beat the hell out of it. You have to beat the impurities out of it. It has to be burned in the fire and beaten. So if you're a Christian of any denomination, understand that to be refined by God, to be refined by Christ, to be purified, is to be heated up, to be thrown in the fire, to be pulled out, and then beaten and then cooled off to be refreshed after the beating. So there's something to it. And I am a big believer in pushing yourself and stretching yourself. I really am. I run 2 magazines. I run 2 YouTube channels. I'm starting up a 5th thing. And it's not the rides. I'm starting up a 5th business because I'm a psychopath. And it's not just for the money. It's to stretch and to see if I can. I'm married. I'm a dad. Plate's kind of full. Those kids all have crap going on every basketball practice, dance practice, piano practice, yada, yada, yada. All right. And I'm telling you, the other channel is Mopar Connection Magazine. Small. We only have like 550 subscribers. I'm only doing a 1 weekly video. I'm not pushing it terribly hard just yet. So my point in all of this and why I want to invite people into this is I want to invite those people who want to push themselves to join me in making lifelong memories and grow together. Sounds a little mushy, but I mean, I didn't know one person on this ride beforehand on Friday. I met 8 friends on Friday. Same thing happened to my first mud bug. Billy Duplessis. One of the greatest things that came out of the first mud bug I ever went to. And he's introduced me to all of his friends because of it. I have all these friends because of jet skiing. I'm immensely blessed because of jet skiing. And I know we can have a lot more fun because of it. So I'm all for it. I really am. I am going to defer again to you guys who are not. You know what? I'm going to defer to you guys who are local authorities in your areas. That you know a route, you know the stops, you know these places. And I want you to reach out and go, Kevin, I got a crazy idea. Our best chance of weather are these months. I don't care what time of the year. It doesn't have to be insane. We don't need to put ourselves into mortal danger. I am not going to try to recreate Gordon Lightfoot's tale of Edmund Fitzgerald. All right. No one needs to die in order to prove anything. But I know what the Great Lakes turn into, especially in the afternoon. I've seen it. I've been on them. Been on Erie. I've been on Erie. Haven't been in Michigan. Haven't been in Superior. But again, if you guys have routes that you think are doable, email me. You have my email address. I am very easy to get a hold of. Email me a route. And not just like, how about here to here? It's got to be a return route. No one's cars are going to magically appear at the other end. We got to have a return route. It's got to be a long return route. It's got to be a return route. So that's the idea. I think a lot of you guys are interested. I think a lot of you guys are just crazy as I am. I think we'll have a lot of fun. I gave away about $250 worth of prizes on Friday. I bring prizes. Everyone got stickers, and we got prizes. So there's a little bit of swag to get. So that's the idea, guys. I think we could do this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be really good. Lake Travis, 60 miles, dam to dam, full length and back, 125 miles. Interesting. David, email me. Email me details on that one. Weather, fuel, 125 miles. Most people can't do that on a tank and extra fuel. Some Yamaha HO guys can, but everyone else can't. And 120 miles goes by fast. And how diverse is that? Yeah, the Tennessee River 600 is what retirees do for 6 days. I want to do the Tennessee 600. I want to do 400 miles of the Tennessee 600 in 1 day. That's what I want to do. Tennessee 600 cakewalk. I've done it. I live on the end of it. I literally am 4 miles from the end, and they've started there too. So yeah, I know all about the Tennessee 600. And they go 30 miles an hour, and they stop every 40 minutes. It's not an endurance ride. It's just a long cruise. All right. Guys, I think I have a lot of comments, but I don't know if I have any. I don't think I have any more super chats. So let me scan through these. I know I'm going to have a million people going like, what about this? What about this? What about this? But let me just cruise through some of the stuff and see if I got any more. Jay says, just took an order deposit on a 2022 FX SVHO Limited after watching your 100th episode special 10 times over, the RX TX, RX PX, and GP 1800R. All right, very cool. Riding on lakes in Arkansas, have a wife and 5-year-old that will ride too. The Limited would be great for a great choice. Great choice. Took Kevin's advice and used none of it. but I did use all the information to make my decision. That's funny. All right. I was going to order the GP, but decided didn't want my wife and 5-year-old on that versus FX. I just might order that for me in a year or two if we need a second. That's good, Jay. I like it. Yeah, I think you'll really like the Limited. And you know what? I mean, the Limited is just the FX SVHO Cruiser with a different paint scheme and a whole bunch of accessories. And if you can't get your hands on Limited and you like the colors on the Cruiser, get that. If you don't want the Cruiser seat, just get the FX SVHO, and then you can cherry pick from the accessories catalog. You're in good shape. All right. All right. Totally agree with Kevin. I traveled up to 800 kilometers riding a Honda R12X from Gold Coast to Harvey Bay, 5-foot swells. My legs got the best leg workout ever. I want to do it again. Yes, Roy. Exactly what I'm talking about. I love it. Lake Ontario, 4 to 5 foot closed swells, raining, loaded up with tent and sleeping bag. Every wave went down my shirt. Trying to reach a 12-lock canal when it opened. Jason. Oh, that sounds awesome. That sounds like hell, but that's awesome. Hardcore rides, endurance. I've been waiting to get involved in something like this. Badass. Yeah, sorry for swearing. I realize I swore quite a bit earlier. I apologize. It's going to get me in trouble with the algorithm. Oh, we got a super chat. Let me scroll down. Greg writes, thank you, Kevin, as always. I do hope to join next year if the ski comes. I'll just close my eyes and zip tie the throttle back if I need to. What could possibly go wrong? I see people not loving the colors of the 2022 FX SVHO, but that's what I ordered. Love the colors, not a fan of the cruiser seat. The red with the neon yellow and the pumpkin orange really didn't. That one just felt weird to me. That just looked like Carl's Jr. to me. But that's, I mean, again, taste is subjective. All right. I know you're not coming to California, but what would you suggest a ride out here? What I suggest for a ride is get your ski on a trailer and hook it up to your truck and pack all your personal belongings in the back of the truck and drive east. It's going to be the best ride of your life. Brad writes, hey, Kevin, love the Sunday live. Hey, okay, let me try it again. Brad writes, hey, Kevin, love the Sunday live sessions, and so do my kids. They talked me into doing a super chat so they could hear you say their names. Evie and Jackson. Pronounced Evie, right? Like on Wall-E, like Eva. All right. All right. Okay. Jay says I like these limited and standard. Cruiser was a little bit off. The black and light blue didn't have the brown on it. The brown doesn't look so bad in person. Don't stop in Texas. We're full of Californians. Go to Arizona. Arizona's become a suburb of California. No, go to it. Well, it depends on your politics. All right, let's see here. I'm trying to find some other questions. How about Lake Michigan, Chicago to Green Bay? I'll tell you what, one of the guys on the ride, his name's Keith. A really cool guy. He showed up on an FX. And it was an HO. But he made his own fuel carrier for that. It was pretty trick. Keith, I think he's from Indiana, if I remember right. But he's like, dude, we got to ride Illinois. And I said, well, I think it's frozen over right now. He goes, yeah, we got to wait. He says, but when it thaws, we'll come up. I'm like, all right, you come up with a route. You come up with a route, and we'll get the word out. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Tracy. Yeah, a little bit. You're not wrong, Tracy. Yeah, that's what you. I mean, what are you going to take with you, right? I think the Pharaohs were a little off. All you got is the relationships and the experience you take with you. You might as well get some good ones. Christopher writes, all these people watching, you should like this video simply because of Kevin's energy tonight. He's kind of into it today. Well, I think I got to burr up my butt. I apologize. Not trying to be ignorant. I'm down for a challenge. GTI. Oh yeah, Greg, I answered that. Yeah, you'll do mid-50s with your GTI. You'll do mid-50s. Adam writes, my stand-up club in Missouri, we have a big ride every year. The weekend after Labor Day in Lake Kincaid. Yeah. Adam, I've tried to cover it, and I've got no one to help me out with that one. Wave Days, right? It's the Wave Days. All right. Lake Ontario to Niagara River and up the falls can be wicked. Rapid, strong current. If that route is doable, I don't know if you can. All right. Hey, okay. Here Scott writes, "Hey Kevin, is Riva's engine access compartment for Sea-Doo Spark worth it? Heard it could take on water if it flips over. I don't have enough knowledge on it, to be honest. I apologize. I wish I had a little bit more that I could comment on. I just don't know enough people who've made that modification. So unfortunately, I can't answer that one. All right. Naples to Key Largo, preferred over Key West. Some of the Key stuff is cool, and it's open ocean. The only way that I would do that really is if we were pinned. If we were pinned and we didn't make extra stops, then I'd be down. But I know like the Florida ski riders did it, and it's a 300 skis cruising, and they had all these pretty stops and all this stuff. And I don't want to make it a wreck ride. I'm not interested in wreck rides. Does that make sense? I'll let the wreck ride guys do the wreck rides. I want to hurt people. All right. Buffalo to Detroit. Ugh. I have to wear a mask out on the water. Wear my N95 mask and rubber gloves. All right. Distance in nautical miles from Naples to Key Largo is 96 miles one way. So round trip, you'd be at about $1.90. Okay. All right, Jason. Jason, email me and let's see if we can't figure out some logistics for that one. We need to know like times of year that would be good or would be uncomfortable, and potential fuel stops. And the question is, do you have the GPS mapping? Because I'm not showing up with the GPS maps. If you've got the GPS maps, we can make it happen. All right. Fort Myers to Key West. Yikes. Cowieception. All right. Took possession of my 2022 Superjet 2 days ago. Placed deposit in July. ETA was February, March. Wow. Well, I'm glad it showed up early. That's great, Gabe. All right. A lot of guys are talking about dealers. No, Chris. I intentionally skipped my fuel stop thinking I could make it. I overshot the math on my on my miles per gallon. Now it was not a forgetting my fuel stop. It was intentionally pushing past it like a like an idiot. So got another super chat. Chris writes, realistically, what day of the week would you guess these rides would be on generally? I have to rebid my schedule to make all of these. I'm in. Well, I'll tell you what, Saturday, Sundays suck. I don't like riding on weekends. I would prefer to do it on a Friday or a Monday. Friday is typically logistically easier for people. And again, I really just don't want to have a massive crowd. I'm not looking for 50 people. I'm looking for a dozen, 18 max. You lose count of people really quick when you're in the mid-teens. So yeah, that would be that it would typically be a Friday or a Monday. Roy asked, would you consider putting solo long-haul rides in the magazine or only group rides? Don't want to be famous, just want to inspire others. Roy, I'd be interested. Email me. if you document it well and you've got good pictures and all the details about it, and it's something noteworthy, it's not, hey, I did 80 miles by myself. Dude, I did 440 miles by myself. So that's the only thing. But yeah, submit it. I'm always up, dude. I have no constraints when it comes to page count. The internet is my page count, so I can do whatever I want. So anyway, Dennis writes, going to go from Fort Myers to Key West. Just take the Key West Express. It's jet powered and you can drink the whole way. So it's kind of punishing. Team Long Riders. Hello, I'm from SoCal. Well, I'm formerly from SoCal. Your topic today has inspired me to host a Let's Go Brandon Beat the Bank around the lake ride this spring. You want to do cannonball runs with no seatbelts. That's basically it. Yeah, I'm not going to, I'm not, was it Roy Brock who did the first cannonball run? Masks aren't required in Michigan anymore. Just the stab is, right? Just the jibbity jab. All right. Well, I think we're good, guys. I think this is it. No, Chris, you're smoking crack. I'm not trying to set a world record here. I'm just trying to. Billy. What did Billy write? Billy writes, I only rode with Kevin a few times, some of which was at Mudbug in Morgan, Jasper, Alabama, Smith Lake, and Louisiana Blind and Amite River area. I don't think Kevin has rode the Pearl River area. Could be wrong. I don't think I have. And quite frankly, I don't care. I'll do it again. You tell me there's a route of 180 miles or more that puts us in some chop and puts us in some bayou and puts us on some, we can pin it and drag race. We can cut some corners. We can ring it out in the rough and people are going to be hurting the next day. That is my tune. You are singing my song. So I am all about it. All right, guys. I think we're Brock Yates. Thank you. Thank you, David. All right, guys, I think I'm good. I think it's been an hour and almost 40 minutes. Okay, so to recap what's going on this week, the 3 mods for the RXPX, like the first 3 mods anyone should make for the RXPX, that will come out on Tuesday. We should have the announcement on the long sleeve UV shirt and how to buy it on Friday. And then that's pretty good for this week. If you haven't already subscribed to the newsletter, please do so. The link is at the top of the super chat here. Or you can just go to watercraftjournal.com and hit subscribe, and it's free. We don't sell your email address list to anyone. We don't give it away. It is just the newsletters on the articles we write and the videos we publish. And we publish 6 videos a week and 5 articles a week. And that's a lot of content. You're drinking from the fire hose. And if you want to support the magazine and support what we do on the channel, please buy a shirt or a hoodie. I probably should be properly representing my swag, but I'm not. So whatever. And if you plan on doing one of these rides with me and you're looking for a fuel system for your Kawasaki or Yamaha or pre-2012 Sea-Doo, we sell an automatic fuel system that installs in minutes. It tightens down easy. It was 2 guys had our rack system on this ride. They all survived. They did great. Even one of them wasn't tightened down all the way, and it still survived, and we got them all situated and fixed up. But so yeah, if you guys want to join me on these crazy rides, there'll be updates coming soon. Have a good night. We'll talk soon. And yeah, okay. Thanks for tuning in, guys.